Welcome back to the Queer Circle, where queer healers come to the mic to share their journeys and what they tell their younger selves. Today's guest is Gia Love, a Black trans woman, model, advocate, community organizer, and the creator of the Celebration of Black Trans Women Cookout, an annual community gathering centering Black trans joy in New York City. Welcome to the Circle, Gia.
My younger years um is very I always describe it as I kind of view it as a dream. I can't really concretely and with certainty describe some of my younger years because um, I feel like I don't know if it's actually real. And also, it's about perspective. So when you ask me a question about how did I come into the world, I can only talk about myself, right? And what I experienced or what I remember experiencing. And that may not be accurate because my mother is a very major part of that, right? So what I will say is that, what I remember is I remember I so my mom when I the first thing I do remember is kind of being in foster care. My mother was addicted to drugs. So we were my siblings and I were taken by the system and placed in a foster home. So I remember although I don't really remember much before that. Only thing I do remember is knowing that the people that we were with, that was not my mom. I knew that. And I remember making that very clear as a 3 4 year old, no, you're not my mother, type of thing. And that was very short lived, although it may be longer than I remember, but I just remember it being maybe 2 years, if that. um then we my mom, as I start to get gain memory, she recovered and entered like those programs and stuff like that. So we then moved back to the Bronx because we were in foster care in Yonkers, and we moved back to the Bronx, and I we were a family again with my mother and my grandmother. We're from the South Bronx. So I never really start my story with that piece. Because I just don't, I feel like that piece is so like I I don't want to tell my mother's story, but that's a major part, I guess, of my upbringing, right? And the start. I yeah, that so then I start my story. When we moved back to the South Bronx, I was in kindergarten at this time, and I we spent a lot of time with my grandmother. I remember because my mother was in the programs, and that was great. My grandmother was a very quiet woman who looked after us. And we just did we just we were kids playing outside. I always remember being very different and frankly outcasted from my siblings because of the way I behaved. Um, Particularly because well, there's technically 3 boys, well, 4 boys and 1 girl. My mother had 4 boys and 1 girl. So, but the thing is my sister is a tom. Well, at that time we called her a tomboy, so she fit in with them, and I didn't. I was outcasted. And especially because at that time everyone characterized me as a boy, there was like a lot of shame around me being with them, or like meeting like their friends and stuff like that. So like I always was like kind of pushed out, which always kind of made, like, I was always the type of person to find my place. So I always found a friend or friends, usually females and women, little girls at the time, that will just be my friend, and like, we would just play and be like do innocent things together. Um, and my mother's the only child. So, like, and my grandmother is not the only child, but her sister lived in the South. So we really don't have much immediate or family, right? We have like extended family, but I don't even know them. Like, the only family that I have is like my immediate family, my siblings, my mom, and my grandmother. So like all the time, like we would, like, my mother's friends or like people in the neighborhood, they will always be like aunts or like cousins to us because we didn't have that. And that basically was like kind of the like foundation of like my upbringing in terms of like socializing and um connecting and being in community with people. There was always kind of a I belong but not really type of thing, because like it came like from like my, gender expression, also the fact that like I really didn't have a big family. So that was something that was very, I think that stands out for me a lot, and it is also telling in like how I am as an adult, with how I connect with so many people, and I'm so open to bringing people into like the families that I create for myself. Um, and yeah, we like basically lived in the South Bronx. I lived in the South Bronx all of my like life, basically, um, until like my adult, until I became an adult. Then I like moved out, but just regular like, like New York City life. I was a very as a kid though, like as like a young person, I was always that kid. I was always the kid like who always fought for what I believed in, like literally fought for what I believed in. um, Always had a lot to say. Didn't tolerate any BS. Always would defend and advocate for people. I was the type of kid on the playground that would see someone getting bullied and be like, "Why are you messing with my cousin?" Mind you, I don't even know them. Why are you messing with my cousin? That's my cousin. Okay, well now you have to mess with me. That was me. Um, I used to do that all the time. That was just I always had that spirit. And I like the safety for me, and a lot of the, like, I would say the healthy love and support that I like got was from teachers. For some reason, like there's always this like narrative around like white teachers like coming into the hood and like teaching kids. That really wasn't my experience, and it probably was, but I don't remember that. I remember like the Latinx teachers and the black teachers that I always connected with. That like they're my friends on Facebook today. Like, even like my favorite teacher of all time, Miss Alvarado, she hates when I call her that because, she was my teacher from like fourth grade through middle school. But like we still have a relationship. I can't call her by her first name. It makes me like it makes my skin crawl when she tells me to stop calling her that. But like it was like the safety and the security, and also, I feel that they were like the first people to believe in me. You know what I mean? And like I feel love me unconditionally. Because like even my family, like they didn't know how to, right? they didn't always treat me the best way. They didn't always uplift me and put me on a platform, and show up for me in the ways that they should have. But my teachers that were very instrumental in me even being where I am today, were the first people to show me like unconditional love. And like it wasn't about like it was like, I remember times where like my siblings didn't want me to meet their friends, right? Or like they would like literally run away from me so that I wouldn't hang out with them. But like my teachers would bring me to meet their families, have me over for Thanksgiving, have me over for Christmas, buy me presents. Like Miss Alvarado would bring me oatmeal like in the morning, like from her kids, and bring me some too. And like it was only me. Like it wasn't like the other kids. Like she took a special, unique liking and love to me. Um, even like I had the cookout that I have every well that I'm going to have every I had the first one last year. Like she cooked a lot of food for it. Like so like she's just always been like so loving, and a part of my family, and like one of the people who has supported me. So that was very important because, as like a kid who was trying to find herself, and as a person who really didn't have a space of acceptance and like true support, I had a little bit of it. You know what I mean? And I had it, like no matter what, like no matter who I was, how I behaved, because I had a period in my childhood where I acted out. And I acted out because I was misunderstood. I acted out because the only way I got attention is when I acted out. I didn't get attention if I didn't. You know what I mean? So like and the only way my mother would come to school was if I acted out. She wouldn't come to school if I did well. So it was like I wanted attention, and I had a period of that. But when I found it was like, I remember one day walking down the halls and they had a flyer for the debate team on the wall. And I was like, I love to argue. Everyone knows I'm the best arguer. I will argue and fight you into a box. So we're getting on this debate team. And from that, like that saved my life. Like I feel like if I would have never joined debate, like I would just I don't know where I would be. Like um another part of my story that like I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I feel ashamed to talk about it, but it's not my fault. And I've talked about it before, but it's a shaming experience, and I feel like a lot of queer kids have this experience. When I was younger, my mom like because I was acting out because of the way I wanted attention, I wanted to be seen, and that was the only way I was seen and got attention. They like put me in special ed, even though like I should not have been there, and for other reasons, right? I was put in there, and that really was it was a problem because now I was in a class with a lot of kids who were put in there for the same reasons, right? And we probably shouldn't have been there. And we were all just acting out. They were not teaching us the way they should have been teaching us. So, like, I went into there probably like on grade level or above, and then like was in there below because I was never learning what I was supposed to be learning. And when I got to the like middle school, those teachers, the teachers I imagine having this conversation with a 12-year-old. Miss Vega told me like, you cannot go into high school in special ed because if you do, it would be very hard for you to get out. So we need to get you out in middle school. You need to do this. She's talking to a 12-year-old. And so when I joined the debate team, I had another way to get attention because I was very good at it. So then I started to behave. I love debate. I wanted to debate. I did not want to get suspended. I did not want to fight. I wanted to go to debate tournaments. And I literally started to excel. Like not only did I get out, but I was like in the top class. Like this happened in a year. Like literally in a year. Like I was prepping for the math A regents, like literally was probably failing this test a year before that. It was literally like they put me in an environment that I should not have been in. And once they took me out of it, I started to thrive. And through debate, I was able to meet people who were like in college. Like when I was in the seventh grade, actually, I then met this lady named Sarah Ryan, who she was a queer woman, she was a lesbian, and she had a partner named Jamie, and they like took after me. And basically, Sarah would like do a lot of stuff with like the kids, like she ran the resource center in the Bronx, and like even though I was not supposed to be going there because I was too young, I was there every day, like literally learning, reading like college level books in the seventh grade, like I love debate, so I was like doing anything and everything I could to be the best debater and prepare myself for high school to really take it to another level. And like in the seventh grade, like she saw something in me, or I don't know what was her rationale for this, but like they went to the Harvard debate tournament, and she took me with them. But like I literally just went, like I was just watching and like just there, like she bought me all these books from the Harvard Square bookstore. So like to be like a black kid from the Bronx and to have that experience like really opened my eyes. So as I fast forward and I like get to high school and like, now I'm coming into myself. Now other things are starting to take over. Now I'm having sexual orientation questions. They're coming out. Like I'm starting to like. I can't live like this. I'm starting to express my gender differently. Those pressures and stresses are starting to weigh on me. It was those moments, like those teachers, those those experiences that a lot of people don't have the privilege of having, and I literally had them by chance because I could have met other teachers and they could have traumatized me. But it was those moments that was able to bring me out of like those moments of like despair and like feeling like, oh, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I want to finish high school. I hate being around these kids. I'm too smart for this. I'm just gonna drop out and get my GED. I literally was at that point. Like like junior, well, it was senior year. I was like, I'm not going back no more. I hate these kids. I hate how they are. I'm gonna stay home. I'm gonna drop out. And I'm gonna get my GED because I know I don't need to study, and I'm gonna take it and pass it. But then some black ACS worker came to my house and was like, "What's up?" And it was just so happened. I was the only one who didn't go to school, but that day, no one went to school. So she was so sweet. And I just came out in the hallway and she was like, girl, you need to go to school. Just go to school. And my I was cool with the attendance lady at school. So she used to like really like call, be like, girl, come to school or I'm gonna have to call. Right. But I was like, I don't want to go to school anymore. And then like it was just like those moments of like remembering like people who was there for me, and I didn't want like the work that they did like and the love that they showed me to be done in vain. That was just like, all right, well, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to school. Like I'm gonna then I went from like planning to drop out to getting accepted into my first college choice. like, so it was just like my story, like my upbringing, my youth experience was just so, you know, just it was like my specific story, a story. It was a turbulent one, but one that was very, it was. I think it was a great one, a story of perseverance, overcoming obstacles, support, and love, in spite of like my circumstance and situation that I was in, and oftentimes such circumstances and situations I could not control. But for me personally, as I cap like my story and my like how I was like came into this world and my upbringing, one of the most instrumental parts of my upbringing was meeting my best friend Genovia, who we met sophomore year in high school. So I really quickly. Was in I was in so when I was in middle school, I was so bad. Like honestly, like I was like really a problem child in like sixth and seventh grade, and I started to change in the second semester, seventh to eighth, and I was really good. So I didn't get into any high school I wanted to go to because you remember, like once I became in seventh, I started to meet different people with different expansive minds. So now I'm like, oh, I want to go to Bronx Science. I want to go to like they was like, baby, we're not taking you. We're not taking you. So I didn't get into any high school I wanted to go to. And this all boys school came to my high school. And there was like what I seen at the time, a gay boy with them. Um Different, he expressed himself very differently from the way I expressed myself, but nonetheless I saw a queer person. And I was like, well, if he can be accepted there, maybe I could be. No, that was not the case. So I went to the all boys high school and for the freshman year, and I was just like, this is not, no, no, no. I honestly went because I wanted to, I was like, maybe me being around more men would make me more of a man. And that was not the case. It was just one of the worst experiences of my life, actually. And I was like, fuck that, I have to go. And I transferred to any school that would take me. And that school was Washington Urban High School. And I went. They had a debate team, so I was able to debate again. And I met Genovia. And, at first we were not friends. We just were like, we were in the same class. It's not that we weren't friends, but we were not like thick as thieves. But then over time, as we like began to blossom and like it was just like literally we were all we had, and like a school of 1,000, it was just like me and her. And like then our friendship started to blossom outside of school, which then was like how we like started to participate in the ballroom scene, and meet like people within the house and ball family communities, which kind of molded and shaped like who I am today. So, and Genovia is still my friend today. We've been friends for over 15 years. And my sister, she's more than a friend, she's my sister. And like, I feel like that was just like, out of everything I experienced, I feel like for me to come into myself and really be able to actualize who I am as a Black trans woman, it was essential that I meet Genovia. And like, that's my story. I can't go back to my childhood or even my teens to be like, oh, I remember like seeing a person who was a reflection of myself. You know what I mean? Like in my Black transness, in that identity, and at those intersections, and to be even like even someone to be like, I want to be like them when I get older, right? I didn't have that model, and that's why I'm visible. Like literally because of that, I feel like um, I think it's important. Perhaps I would have, maybe I would have, maybe I wouldn't have, but maybe I would have been better off if I had that model, right? Or seen myself growing up. Um, and probably not even as a child, but even today, like the way I navigate things, right? I probably would do them in a more healthy way today if I had that back then. So that's why I'm visible, right? Because I just have no choice but to be visible for my own health and well being. I have to be seen. There's been so many years of me hiding who I was, even like downplaying who I was, not talking with enough sass because I didn't want to offend people in my space, not switching the way I wanted to switch because I didn't want to offend the men walking down my block or get harassed by the men walking down my block, not wearing my hair the way I wanted to wear it because I didn't want to make any women feel uncomfortable, making them seem like I want to be like them. These are things that I had to navigate from, even things that I have to navigate today. But it was very difficult navigating as a child when it was like a dream inside of you, right? And you're suppressing it and you're trying to like I literally went to an all boys school to try to be more of a man, right? And anyone who like people don't know that about me. They probably would never even assume that I did something like that based off of who I am and how I exist, right? But it's something that I did, and that's why I'm visible because I don't want like kids having to do that. You know what I mean? Like I said, when I did that, that was one of the worst experiences of my life. Being in a class with all boys. Like I was like, first of all, I've been in school from kindergarten to eighth grade, and all my friends were always girls. Why the hell would I go to an all boys school? Why would my mother let me go to an all boys school? You know what I mean? So that's why I'm visible, so that people could just know that I'm out here and I exist. And I'm also visible honestly. And what I say is like I really like to be real with the person I am. No sugarcoating it because I am a full person who has great things about her, but I have my flaws, I have my vices, just like everyone. And I like to display that because I think that, humanity is not imperfection. I think humanity comes when people are flawed and they live in spite of their flaws, right? And they live like and are true to themselves in that. So we're human. We're not perfect. So that's why I like to be visible. And the reason why I like the work that I do and I'm so passionate about it is because like I remember fighting for those kids. Like you're not gonna bully them, right? So it's like this has been a part of my DNA, my fabric, all of my life, where like I just been an advocate for people, always for what's right, equal treatment, equal protection, equal. You're not gonna bully me. You're not gonna bully them. We're just gonna exist. If you bully them, then you have to feel the wrath of me. That was just like the way that I operated. And the reason why I created my cookout was because um, I've so literally it came out of me getting tired of being associated with other people's work and like others people's impact on the community and people calling me to like advance their cause. And I was like, you know what, not only I'm not just tired of it, like I have just so much to give. What am I going to give? I know I give my visibility, I give my story. People see me, they follow me, they get inspired. But what can I literally, how can I use my resources, my connections that I've garnered in the community to give back to people and make people smile? And I felt like, especially during like, this time, Black trans women needed it the most. I felt that when COVID was happening, like, for me, I kept saying to myself, even when we're experiencing even when we're experiencing civil unrest because of like racial issues, even when we're experiencing a global public health pandemic, um, Black trans women still were getting shot and murdered around this country, and no one was saying anything about it. Um, so I said, what best way to breathe life into the community by celebrating some of the most marginalized among us? And um, I, um, I understand, and I always try to like put myself in the shoes of like some of these Black trans women who experience these like egregious forms of violence, because I don't think that's not what my experience. I am a black trans woman. It could be my experience, but it's not. I haven't had that experience. And I was just like, I know they would want to be celebrated. I know they would want the communities that we frequent, the communities that we often mother, the communities that we pour so much love into, the communities that we hurt sometimes to celebrate us because we deserve it. And we have historically celebrated all the people in our community. We have supported, as Black women, supported Black women and fought for our causes. We've supported Black gay men in like a lot of their causes. So it was like, you know, I don't want it to be a space of activism or I said I want people like literally to come turn up. We're Black, so we're gonna do a cookout, right? Because we're Black. Also, my cookout is gonna be in the hood because this is where we live. We live here. Like, I'm tired of doing events in the village in New York City. I don't live in the village. I lived in East New York at the time. And I was like, I walk down the street every day and they need to see me. Like, they need to see that, there's people who love and support us. They need to see that, it's not just me coming in my building every day. No, there's a whole community of us. And I really achieved just that. Like, not only did I get the point across that we can mobilize and celebrate Black trans women and, like, literally create a space where, like, the girls are dancing, twerking in the park. Like, this is, like a park, a Banji park, a hood park, and we can do that. And also, the people around us will see that and they will be like, yo, like, wow. And like, it was funny because like people in the community that seen me around, like, was coming up to me like, oh my God, like, this is amazing. Right. Wow. I'm so happy to see this. Right. Even like like, I remember like there was these guys who were playing tennis and they like came and was like they just came a part of the cookout. It was like literally like a community event. It was like, honestly, if I ever did something that was so meaningful, it was that because I was able to like see the results of it. A lot of Black trans women and people who supported the event because it was truly a community supported. And the name of the event was Gia in collaboration with friends because I was using my platform and my visibility, but I wanted everyone to have stake in it. And it was truly that a collaborative event, and everyone helped out and made it a beautiful event. Black trans women, I said, don't pick up a. We were catering to you today. This was the time, and I after the event, I like met some of like literally like just a person like my girlfriend Brazier. Like, I did not know her before the event. She came up to me at the event and was like, I needed this. Like, I needed this. Thank you. And from that, like, we developed a whole sisterhood from that event. So that was the like that's when I was like, okay, this event was successful. It worked and we must continue. So it will be an annual event that I will do every year, no matter the scale, right? Of course, we want it to get bigger, hopefully bring it to other cities if possible. But right now, we're just going to stay in New York City and Brooklyn, and we're going to have a Banji cookout every year in a hood park. And we're gonna exist, you know what I mean? And like, bring what you gotta bring. If you got problems, safety is first, but like, I bring it. We're not gonna like, hide. Like, we're not gonna go to Chelsea to have a cookout because we don't live in Chelsea. You know what I mean? I'm tired of that. So that's where my work, like, around like visibility and also like advocacy at this point is centered around. I think that we, like, as like a community, and like the listeners of this podcast, we really need to, all of us need to be more intentional about learning about other people, right, on a person level, and like kind of removing yourself and literally remove yourself from that process and like literally learn about people, love the people you learn about, and do what you can to like uplift those people and provide those people with the space that you can to make them be able to live better and be better. One thing I tell myself is like sometimes I tell myself, how can you show up for a cause greater than yourself? Right? Because I have, and people like me oftentimes are not, um, people don't see us as a cause greater. So I, even in my identity on the intersections that I exist on, I always say like, how can I show up for a cause greater than myself? Be it um, going to visit a friend when I don't want to because I know they need me. Be it donating some of my time, some of my resources to something when I want to just buy some makeup or get my hair done. Like these are the things that kind of fulfill, and it makes you feel really good when you do it in those moments when you don't want to. Like, you know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, I just did that. I showed up for a cause greater than myself. And like, you know what? Like I can say like I'm a good person, at the end of the day. Or I'm trying to be. And that's what kind of like guides my how I treat others, right? And just like really kind of removing myself. Because I could like, I could make it we could make it a pity party for Gia. We really can. But like I don't want it to be, and I want to, exist and be resilient through like my struggles. I'm gonna speak about them, but I want to really understand and know that, like I always say, that there's always another bitch standing in the back that will give you a story that will rock your mind. You know what I mean? That you would be like, okay, I don't want to experience that ever. And those are the causes greater than yourself that we can and oftentimes investigate and discover like how we can show up for them. I'd never thought that this would be at those moments, In those moments, like I was this, like literally, like like the way I live, like, and I'm gonna say this, and this may sound really fucked up. I don't even care. If I died today, I lived a great life. Like I'm only 30 years old, but like I remember being so young and like really like not loving myself and like really not thinking I was beautiful and like all the things that I did not think I am that today. Like, and I see it. Like I didn't think this was a possibility. Like literally did not. Like when I was going into the all boys school to become more of a man, I did not think that I would be a woman. And that's how I always felt. So I always say like the stuff that I tell myself that I've been telling myself, because it hasn't been easy. When I was like 25 years old, like that was 25, 26, that was like the worst 2 years of my life. Had to be emotionally. I don't know what I was going through because it wasn't. It was like mental health, like going through something. Like nothing changed. Just my emotional well being was at the lowest point, and I did not want to live anymore. I was just like, you could throw this away, and I would be fine with that. But I was telling myself with the support of certain friends, just keep pushing, girl. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. Like one day, and building myself up to just weather that storm. You know what I mean? Not give up, not give in. And like 29 was like the best year of my life. You know what I mean? And like these are the best times of my life. So, you know what I mean? That's what I would just tell myself, like push, push. Like I literally remember, like there have been times where like I've been just broken and I'm just literally sobbing, like Gia, just push, just keep pushing, push, go, 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 like literally telling myself, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. So, just those times because I just and also just be kind to yourself, right? Because in those, like I just remember, like you know, my trauma around the like foster care stuff is that like I felt always, and I honestly I still do, that I was the most loyal to my mother, and I've always been that way. Like I've always been the one most loyal. Like I was the only one that did not. They were gonna send me to another home because they was like, this one, oh no. I was like, you're not my mother. I'm not doing this. But I felt that because of who I am, I was treated very differently at times and oftentimes bad. And I felt like, how could you, the child who was the most loyal to you, how could you just like do these things to me because of like who I am, right? And I had to, because oftentimes, like these are not things that I've healed with my family, because some people are not just not where you are. You can't have like accountability conversations with everyone. I've been to, like, I've been all over the world. I've met people from all over the world. Some people never left, the confines of their neighborhoods. And sometimes those are the people in our families. So, like, just because I'm here doesn't mean that you're going to be here. So I need to figure out ways that I can heal, and it just may not be conventional, or it may not be the way I would want to do it, but I have to really think about healing, and I'm still healing. Like I said, I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? And, I'm just still figuring out ways that, I can keep pushing and keep going.
Thank you, Gia, for joining us in the circle today. To learn more about Gia's work, visit her Instagram at love.gia or visit our website, queercirclepodcast.com, for this information and more. Music from today's episode was provided by Purple Fluoride. You can find Purple Fluoride's other works anywhere streaming can be found.